Now that we've learned how to use the Move tool, let's go ahead and learn how to rotate and move objects. First thing first, let's get this in the center of our screen. We want to see more of the right-hand side. Therefore, what you want to do is to move your mouse over to the left-hand side and then zoom out. Now you can see more of the right-hand side. Point at the object you want to zoom into, which is this section, and push forward to zoom in. Here we go. First thing first, we notice that the objects themselves are not actually rotated in the right direction that the object's supposed to be allocated to be placed in. Therefore, if we use the orbit tool, which is the letter O on the keyboard or the icon on the bottom, you can rotate around just to see, or orbit it around just to see what it would look like. It looks like here that this object needs to be rotated about 90 degrees. So what we need to do is recognize the rotation angle we want, the degree we want, and then use the rotate tool. In fact, it's not going to be the rotate tool. It's actually going to be the move tool. It's a function within the move tool to rotate. Therefore, let's try that out. Let's first select the object we want to rotate. Let's zoom in. Here's the object I want to rotate. It is selected, hovered in blue. Therefore, we're going to rotate this now by selecting the move tool. I know, strange, right? It's the move tool, but the rotate is a function within the move tool. Here's how you rotate. Any objects will have many different sides. So you have the right side, the front side, the left side, the top side, the top front side. How would we describe that? And then the top side. Here's the top side. And of course, you have the bottom as well. At every one of these angle, if you use the move tool and hover over the different face, left, front, top, right, and so on, you will see 4 little dots that comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you just move your mouse to that little tiny dot, a compass will appear. The compass will allow you to understand the rotation direction. Meaning if I go to the front and I click once, let go of my hand, and I move my mouse now, it's going to be rotating around that compass. We don't want to rotate this direction. That's not the direction we want. However, we just want to explore this first just to have a better understanding of what these different directions mean. So I'm going to press escape on the keyboard. It is the top left-hand corner key on the keyboard just to undo to escape essentially off of the tool. So if I go on the left-hand side now and hover over into that point, notice how if I hover over the point, a little compass will appear. If I click once, let go, it will allow me to rotate this object. And this is also not the direction I want to rotate. So the first thing, if I press escape, so the first thing I always want to recognize is where and what angle I want to rotate. In this case, I'm actually going to try to rotate from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and hover on top. There's a little compass that comes up. I'm going to click once, let go of the mouse, and oh, definitely, this is definitely the right direction I want to rotate. But the question is, what degree am I going to rotate to? If I look at the bottom right-hand corner, which is right here, every time I'm rotating, it's going to give me a certain degree. All you need to remember in this class is the degree of 0, 90, and 180. And it could be positive or negative, except for 0. 0 is the 0. So 0, 90, negative, positive, and 180. So as I rotate this, I'm noticing on the bottom right-hand corner, it says negative 90. And it's negative 90 based off of the point in which I'm grabbing from. So if I grab it from here and I rotate it this way, it's going to be 180. And it's actually the right direction I want. So I'm going to click once. Now I have the object facing the right direction. The important thing to note is just 0, 90, 180. And as you're rotating it, is it facing the direction you want? So I'm going to grab from this now. I'm going to use the move tool, grab from a point I want to move from, and I move it to the point I want to move it to, which is this corner here. So I want to move to this corner, or grab it from this corner and move it to that point. All right, let's try the next one. Similar concept is to recognize, let's go ahead and select the object first. And it's to recognize which face am I going to rotate from. So the move tool, is it the front? Is it the side? Is it the side? Let's go ahead and use the move tool and for move. Is it the side? Is it the top? what we've done one, so we know it's going to be from the top. But I want to just remind you again is that if I hover over a tiny little red dot, that's the compass is going to rotate around. So it's fairly easy to understand. If I'm clicking here, I'm definitely not going to be rotating in the right direction. So I'm going to press escape and again go to the top, click once. If I'm graphing from here and I rotate it this way, it'll tell me it's going to be 0. There you go. So you see how it's 0, 90, or 180. So any of those numbers will work if it's facing the right way. If I keep rotating it this way, it says 90, but it's facing the wrong way. So, or if I keep turning it again, it says negative 180, and this negative 180 is going to be correct still. So that's actually what I want. I'm going to click once, let go of the mouse. I can orbit to see if that's the right direction. In this case, it's absolutely the right direction. So I'm going to use the move tool, grab from the corner, and drag it up onto to that point again. All right, let's try the next one. Now that we know that's always going to be the top surface when it's going directly go on there. So select the object, use the move tool, go on top, grab one of those little tiny red dot, click once, let go of the hand, rotate it. Rotate it by using the cursor and moving your mouse. And you're going to see it's going to be, it says 180, and that's perfect. Negative 180, and it's the right direction I want. What you don't want is this random number like like 160 or 45 or 30, things like that. What you want is 0, 90, or 180, negative or positive. Now I'm going to grab from the bottom corner and move my object to the right, to that spot that I want to allocate it in. Let's go and orbit these objects just to make sure it is placed in the right spot. And it is placed in the right spot. And that is how you do rotate using the move tool.